All right, in this code along example, we're going to build this little RGB Colors website. Again, this will be the graphical user interface for a program we'll make later in JavaScript where we can adjust the amount of red, green, and blue, and it'll show a preview over here and what the actual color command should be down here. We'll just do the HTML in this video and then work on the CSS later. So let's just identify probably a H1, paragraph, an HR. This is probably like a H2 or an H3, another paragraph with these input elements inside of it. I think I did this as a paragraph with width and height and gave it a background color. Then we've got a button here and then this RGB stuff. Notice the font's a little bit different on these RGBs, more of a computer font, I think Courier New or something like that. An HR and then a paragraph with a link here. Learn more about RGB colors from Wikipedia. And a link to RGB on Wikipedia. Okay, so that's the main HTML components, and then the style sheet. Notice everything's centered, and we also have this kind of container, and that whole thing is centered on the page. That fixed, centered fixed with layout that we did in the crash course. Okay, so let's get started. Replit here, my repls, go into my folder, new repl, HTML CSS, and what did I call this? RGB Colors. Create. All right, script tag. Although, in some ways I should just leave those script tags there because eventually we're going to add JavaScript to these, but that's okay. And I don't think I need an image folder because there's no images here. Hang on 1 second, please. Okay, so let's get started on auto format. Give this a title, RGB Colors, and then let's get going. I'm H1 for my main heading, RGB Colors, like so. Let's go back to here as a reference, and we have a paragraph. An RGB color is specified by, okay. So a paragraph. I forgot what it said already. An RGB color is specified by, okay. An RGB color is specified by, colon. And then we have this RGB red, green, blue, like so. And you'll notice that this has a different font. So to style just this part of the paragraph, hold on, I should end this paragraph. I'm going to put a span tag around this because then I can select that span tag, /span, and if I select that span tag, I can style it. Okay, let's just give this a little more room. Awesome. Okay, then I think I had another paragraph that said the parameters red, green, and blue define the intensity of the color. The parameters red, green, and blue specify the intensity of the color. I think there was a colon there. Yeah. And then I wanted to force it to go to the next line. So we're going to do a BR tag there. It's a line break. And then we can go 0, which is the lowest, I think that's what it says, to 255, which is the highest. Oops, right here, 0 lowest to 255 highest. And notice these are italics. So one thing we can do for that is there is a tag, an EM tag, which stands for emphasis. And most browsers display emphasized text as italic. Okay, and then I also need to end my paragraph. And again, this is a bit of a bigger paragraph, so I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit enter and enter here. And hold on here. Enter there. Just things tab so I can clearly see the paragraph starts here and ends here. Because that's a common mistake, is to just forget to end things, and this keeps it a little cleaner. If it's a single line like this, I don't mind doing the start and the end. But if it gets to multiple lines for your paragraph, I like doing this technique. Okay, let's hit run to see what we got so far. Heading, paragraph, paragraph. Notice that BR, right? If I got rid of that, it would just be on one line. I want to force it to go to the next line. Okay, good. What else? Then an HR, and then that heading, I think it was an H3. Try it out for yourself. Okay. So we'll do an HR, and then H3, try it out for yourself, ... I think I did. Awesome, and then this paragraph with the red, green, blue. Okay, so again, I'm going to do this and indent in here and have red, and then after the red is going to be an input element. And inputs, it's usually a good idea to do what type of input, which in this case text is very common, but in this case it's going to be a number. And then green, same idea. And red, green, blue, and then an input element, like so. And see what that looks like. Good. Now, just for the sake of my code here, I might put these on different lines. And as you may have realized, come on, it doesn't make a difference on the actual page. Me hitting enter, it ignores extra spaces. I could enter as many times as I wanted, and it wouldn't change anything. Okay, it just takes any enters or empty spaces as one space. Okay, so red, green, blue. Oh yeah, then I need this paragraph, which will give a background color. So this is actually just going to be an empty, lowercase usually, an empty paragraph, and we'll have to style that, so we won't be able to see that yet. Maybe I'll just put a little dash in there just so we can actually see it. And then a preview button, and again we'll put that in a paragraph too. /p, and then a button element, preview it said. And the reason actually I don't know if I need to put the button in a paragraph, but a button is an inline element, right? I can have text in front of it, and it'll go on the same line as that text, whereas paragraphs are block elements, and they give you space above and below. So I have a feeling that's, I'd like to put in a paragraph so that we get that space above and below it. Okay, preview, and then we had another paragraph which had the RGB text, RGB 255, 255.0. Cool. And actually, that's my initial values. Again, they'll be able to be changed once we know JavaScript. I should have these input elements initialized too. And I can do that by giving these input elements a value. Right? They don't have inner HTML that I can type in like the opening tag and closing tag, but they have a value. And I can set that value, and that'll be its initial value. 255 for this one as well, and this one was 0. Right, so 255 is the highest, so it's full red, full green, no blue, red and green combined to make yellow. Okay, and then horizontal rule. Sorry, HR. Sure, let's tab over properly, and the space. I notice I try to keep spaces between kind of the sections on the page. Right, there's kind of this top section here, right there. Then the HR, and then a space, and then this section here with all of those things. This paragraph could probably be a part of that section too. Maybe the preview button and stuff, a little space between those. Or actually, maybe this thing, maybe I did want that. Kind of stands on its own, that box. And then we'll have down here the another paragraph, open and close tags, learn more about RGB Colors from Wikipedia. And the learn more is a link. So I'm going to make an A tag. That's where we say learn more about RGB Colors on Wikipedia. Okay, and then that A tag, of course, doesn't do anything unless we give it an href. Oops, extra space there. Href equals, and then in quotations, we tell the link where it's going to go. So let's just go RGB Colors. I think the first one that comes, Wikipedia, right there. Sure, let's do that one. RGB color model, cool. So I'm just going to copy that URL, put it into here, hit run. I click on that, and it takes me there. Beautiful. How do I go back? There's no back button on here. Anyway, that reminds me, actually, what I'd like to do on this, often I like to take links that take me to a separate website. I just go target equals and then underscore blank. And that's a code that'll let this link node open it up in a new window or a new tab. Okay, so if I run this, let's actually preview it up here. Okay, when I click on this link, it opened up in a new tab. Okay, good stuff. All right, that is all of the HTML, I believe. Yeah, looks good to me. Well, it doesn't look good, but it's all the HTML, and in the next video, we'll start adding some CSS. Okay, like I said, some stuff like the span, you can't see any difference, but we'll use that span to style that part of the text later. Okay, all right, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.